just a man.
Woman.
These nights never seem to go to plan. I don't want you to leave.
Would you hold my hand?
I want
You stay with me, 'cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. But darling, stay with me. What do you everyone? Welcome to episode 10 with Live Your Agenda with Liz, Jen, and Antoine JJ, everyone. This is his second appearance with Live Your Agenda. He was pre-kidney, now he's post-kidney.
Yeah.
Antoine got a new kidney, everyone.
Isn't it exciting?
So we're calling this the rebirth, right? Or the
beginning.
The beginning.
Which I love that. So much better than the reboot. The beginning.
Yeah. It's kind of like those.
And he looks amazing. I was just telling him how hot he looks.
Right? And my mom was all over. We just went to breakfast, and my mom was all over Antoine JJ. She was like,
yeah, I thought she was. Yeah, it almost got a little X-rated for a minute.
I was gonna have to leave.
That put a visual in my head that I'm gonna need Men in Black to erase. Thank you.
I think how I feel. I was there. I was like, Mom.
You did not just hear that Olivia's mom was all over him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go have a nice day.
Yeah. So anyway, so Antoine's visiting here from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Jenny is in Iowa. So
In the cold.
Now,
I'll be home soon, honey.
right?
Oh, bring that black ghost back here.
Right. Speaking of Black Ghost, he's been here visiting different barbecue venues.
Trying to
get his.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, trying to get my sauce to go nationwide here. So every opportunity I get, I try to use, and so it went pretty good. Pretty good.
Because you've been like catering like Rockwell, which is obviously huge here, and then what was the last big one I was just reading about?
CRST.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Miss an old schooler of ours hooked me up with that, Miss Nikki Himes.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You're getting out there.
Yes.
We're so proud of you.
I know. So he's getting outside of the city limits. He's coming to the west.
West, y'all.
Because the west side's the best side, and don't you forget it.
That's right. Don't you forget it. Did you like that? Don't make me get my drum back out, because I will.
Can you
please?
Can you not do it?
Antoine's like, you were gone, and Antoine's like, I can't hear you. I'm all bang, bang, bang.
Maybe it's best that the speaker was off.
Yes, I think so. Okay. I think
he did a cute dance, though. He was all.
Yeah, I was trying to get my little.
At least he plays along with us, okay?
Okay.
At least he plays nicely. So tell us what has been going on since the new kidney. So bring us. So the last time we talked to you, you were waiting for a kidney.
Yeah.
And that's the last we had heard. So give us a little catch up.
Well, a couple things has happened since then. I've had a couple calls in between the last time that I visited you guys' podcast. They didn't end so well. You know, one of them was I got halfway there, almost 10 minutes away from the hospital when I received the call, and then I got a call saying that it was a no-go. I had to turn around and go home. But that's
so could you imagine that news?
I know. Very disappointing.
That was pretty hard. I think I wore my emotions on my sleeve after that one. I think, and I tried not to. You know what I mean? Like this whole process, I try to be, especially in the public and running businesses, I try to be as strong as I can. But that one really hit me. Being that close, and then not getting it due to somebody else's lack of effort or job or whatever they didn't do. So, but
And it was something like really like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Right, something that should have been done. You know,
Right.
like turning the monitor on to keep the kidney
At the correct temperature.
Yep.
Right. So that's sad in and of itself, right?
Yeah. And then seeing my dad kind of hurt after that because he was driving so fast trying to get me there, and he thought it was his fault that.
Oh, Dad.
And we didn't know that until we got the kidney I got now, and we were about to go into surgery, and it bothered my dad so much that right before I go to surgery, he goes, "What happened to the other kidney?" You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
Because they never explained it to us. You know, it was just that it was too warm to put in me. That was all they ever told me. So we got the lowdown of it.
Okay.
Came in on the helicopter, but when they transported it, no one plugged in the monitor to keep it at room temperature, so it got too warm to go into a human body.
Oh my God.
So it was not usable. Not only did it hurt me, but it wasn't good for the person that donated it either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, it's a wasted kidney. So, but you know, when I look at it, it's that hindsight 2020 thing. You know, it wasn't meant for me.
Mm-hmm.
What I got was meant for me because it has been perfect since.
Right. So then, how soon after the crap that went down with the unusable kidney, then did you get the next call?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks. It was still so fresh that I didn't almost answer the phone, like, because I was still mad. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't say mad. I was still a little frustrated that whole thing didn't work out, and I thought it was just a game. You know what I mean? And then when I got the call, I kind of just looked at it a minute before I answered it because I wasn't ready to answer it. You know? And I was like, well, I better answer this. So thank God I did.
Wow.
Thank God I answered it.
So then you this is in Des Moines, so that's how many?
So it's about an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours away from where I live.
Okay.
I was at a football game. I got the call. I left there, went home, packed up my things. Parents came. Actually, I was prepared this time. I already had a bag ready. So
nice.
So yeah, they came pick me up, and off we went. And this one wasn't rushed, so we didn't have to, speed to get there. They had already received the kidney, but it was still in the body, so it was fine where it was at.
Okay.
So then they prepped me. I got there at 10 o'clock. They prepped me for about 6 hours, which was a long prep. Yeah. And then at 10 o'clock the next morning on the 27th, I received the kidney.
So that was the 27th of...
I'm sorry, the 28th.
Of
September.
September,
yes.
Folks.
Yes.
And he's flying, he's jet setting around the world.
I know.
With his barbecue sauce. So it's like, hello, what?
Well, and you didn't let even, as sick as you were, which I don't think we had, we'll never have a grasp on, just hearing it, from you just a little bit that you've said, I can't believe you were doing as much as you were. You weren't only doing like the barbecue and going down to Nubo and doing events. You're like coaching your boys, and you're staying absolutely active and present in their life through this whole thing, and like having a couple moments where you were like, okay, I can't do this. Like my body physically is not going to allow this. But you never dropped until that moment. And even then you didn't. It was like, it just didn't affect your life. You just didn't allow it to. Even at the risk of your own health.
No, I think that was just the way that I've been raised, and then just how my personality is, that you have to continue on even through your toughest times. That shows your character. And yes, there's many days that in my four walls of my own castle, you know what I'm saying, I would break down and I would just be totally done. But when I got up in the morning and I was able to get up because he gave me another day to live,
right.
I figured, why show out the depression and the hurt when I can show that life is still here, I can still move. When some of these people that are in the same boat as me can't even wipe their own butt,
right.
You know what I mean, or feed their own meal. So
you made a choice.
You have a choice
to get up in the morning and be somebody and do something.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
and then he was just saying that after the day of your surgery, that night, you got up and walked around.
Yeah, I got done with like everything about 4. I got back in my room about 5, and at 9 o'clock they had me get up and walk. they said that, the more you walk, the quicker you get up, the better movement you have, then it's good for the kidney, but just do it if you can. And I got up and I walked, I think, a half of a hallway, which to them was like running a mile. You know what I mean? They were like, oh my gosh. And to me, it felt so good that my second walk, I did a full lap around.
Really?
So
how did you feel, like when you remember waking up, how'd you feel out of surgery? Like the anesthesia wore off and whatnot. How did you feel?
I felt instantly like a new man.
Yeah.
It hit me immediately. Like there was no, did I just have surgery? You know what I'm saying? There was no, well, it's going to be a minute before I feel like I'm 100%. It was none of that. I mean, as soon as I woke up, the anesthesia wore off, and I was able to actually feel what had happened to me. It felt great. Like I knew it was different. And then when I had my first pee, then it was
the first pee, everyone.
Yes.
Where's the track? Where's our?
Where's it at? And the thing was, is I remember when we were talking to you about that, you were saying things that every day, just every day we take for granted, and it's like oh, you peed, but it's something we literally take for granted, and you were like, yeah, I peed because previous.
Well, yeah, like a lot of people ask me, what's the first thing you remember? And I say that, and they look at me like, so you haven't peed for like 2.5 years? No, not really.
Right.
I mean, the only time I really did was when, force fed the medicine, and it would sit on my bladder so hard that, it would have to.
Right.
But, your kidney controls so much of your body, your temperature, how you feel, your bowel movements, your bladder, even the color of your skin. I mean, it just it has a function of so many things, but people don't understand or know that because you don't see it and you don't feel it.
Right.
So it's an amazing organ. I'm so glad that I have a new one because I feel so much better, so much active, and just ready to roll.
I mean, because you were at the mall. How many days was that post surgery that you were at the mall like this?
Right.
Oh yeah, that was a cute picture.
That was 3 days. That was
3 days?
Yes, it was so cute.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, they said
and it looked just like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good to watch.
So now that you have your new kidney, you're up and moving around, you're flying here and there and everywhere. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing for proactive as far as with the Kidney Association.
I'm now going to start doing some very active things with the Kidney Foundation.
Kidney Foundation.
Kidney Foundation is an organization that helped me through this process. What they would do is they would give or help you with, say, bills, or give you a stipend to pay for a premium, or get you medicines or whatever. They're basically a liaison between you and the doctor or a DaVita Center or, excuse me, it's pretty much just made up of people that care. You know what I mean? It's nothing that's connected to any hospital or anything like that. It's just an organization that without them, a lot of people that don't have, say, families or support that they can lean on.
So they'll help you get a fit for where you might need to go, or financially what might need to be taken care of, or setting up appointments, or
Right. So what they did for me, and it's on a case-by-case basis, but what they did for me is right when I got into dialysis and I wasn't working, it would give me a stipend, but I would never see it. It would just take care of my premium, my insurance premiums that I couldn't pay because I wasn't working.
Right.
So I mean, it would take that load off of you. Because you can't lose that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're going through dialysis and you have all these medicines, that's something that just cannot go. So it was nice that they were there to do that. And for me in that situation, for someone else, it may be, paying an electric bill, or giving you $100 to grocery shop, whatever. You know what I mean? Something like that. And then your social worker works out with them through the Kidney Foundation and gets that all worked out. So
So what are you going to be doing with them now from the point that you're at now on the you're on the other side of it. So what are you going to be doing?
I will be doing probably, starting off, I will be probably doing more stuff, like going into the Vita centers and talking about life after transplants, how to handle life, you know what I'm saying, while you're in dialysis, and how important it is to maintain your medicines and staying active as much as you can. Your eating habits, which is huge, because now that I'm off dialysis, everything I was doing on dialysis is reversed. So for me, it's learning to live again differently. So it's, you know what I mean? So it's always something that you constantly have to make sure that you're on your P's and Q's about, because if you don't, then you're just going to damage the kidney you have.
Right.
Can you?
Sorry. My godfather just came through. That was weird.
I'm not charging them back.
Nice.
We're having like a Ghostbuster over there, or what? What was that?
Oh my God.
I'm
Carry
not
on.
charging them back.
Oh my God.
What is that? What is going on?
It said, "Welcome to the family."
Welcome to the family.
I'm not
Okay,
charging.
so. Oh my gosh, tell her to take that. Where is that? Why did she take it with her when she left? Welcome to the family.
I'm not charging them
She
back.
said, "Why didn't you take that with you when you left?" She said.
That sounds evil. We are about the light. That sounds wrong. Like, go take that away.
Oh my God. What is really going on?
What happens if
Oh
you're
my
sleeping
God,
and
this
that
is
happens?
I'm not charging them back.
Do you have an accident in your bed if that goes off when you're sleeping and like you're in like snooze land and all of a sudden you hear,
Oh my God.
Oh,
Did you hear
what
that?
was that?
That was evil.
Okay, folks, this turned into a exorcist.
This is an exorcism.
why are you guys still sitting there? That's like, get out. Okay, bye.
What is it doing, Jenny?
What was that?
I have no idea.
Make it stop.
Jenny,
What?
why is it doing that?
Why would it ever do that? Why is it even like set up to ever do that? That was like, seriously, that's like the toilet in Amityville Horror saying, get out with all the flies. That was not okay.
I think we're okay now.
And yet you're both still sitting there.
Well, let's just see what happens.
That was scurry. I'm scared. That was real scurry. Okay, thank you.
Oh my gosh. We'll talk about that later. I'm concerned.
Okay, that'll be episode 11, the apparition.
Episode 11, take 2. Anywho.
That was scary. Okay, but one thing I wanted to ask you about.
No, I asked a question before your psycho breakdown went.
Okay, go.
With your stuff. Anyhow, I was saying, what does that for us that don't understand how that changed after you had the kidney? Like, give us an example of what you have to do differently now than you did previously.
Example, when I would do dialysis at home, I would have to take there was solutions that would go in my body and clean my body out.
Oh, can you show your thing?
Mm-hmm.
So my son.
More specific about that.
Over here.
Oh my gosh, are they Team Twan? Look at me.
But look at this
Oh,
vibrator.
Oh my lord, that's like a goiter.
It's a machine.
I'm super excited about the bracelet.
He has a machine. He's like the bionic man.
Oh my gosh, you're like like what is that? The $10 million man?
It rotates like this inside of his arm, and it pumps the blood through like a shunt. What do you call that? Or like
It's a tube from a tube to my veins.
So, but it would filter your blood through the solutions that.
Well, this was originally put in first. You do hemodialysis. And
Okay.
hemodialysis is when you actually go to the center and they drain your blood. And it
Okay.
goes in the machine, cleans it up,
Okay.
and then goes back into you.
Okay.
So this is what this was made of. And then I went to PD, which is peritoneal dialysis, which I had a port in my abdomen, in my stomach, and I would hook up to a machine at night, and then I would use solution.
Okay.
The solution would go in my body, clean it up, and then get drained out to the sink or tub or whatever. So when I went to the PD is when all my habits changed as far as natural nutrients that you need every day to survive, like vitamin D, your phosphorus, your magnesium, like all those things were getting fed through my dialysis that I didn't have to worry about eating those because my appetite just sucked anyway. So it would feed that. Well, when I got off of dialysis and got my kidney back, I had to switch and eat things that were good for me as far as getting those nutrients and those vitamins. So I'm either on pills or I have to go to the grocery store to get certain things that have these supplements in them, which is very hard to do when you're not used to eating those types of things. So that's one of the examples that has changed post-kidney versus the pre-kidney.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Jenny Cluth? Jenny Cluth.
Hello?
Jenny Cluth. Look at her face.
I don't think she's available.
Jenny Cluth. All right, we'll see if she comes back. Sometimes she lives out in the sticks, so like her internet is to be desired. So tell me what it means to be an organ donor. What does that even mean?
Organ donor.
Because you're in driver's ed or whatever, you sign up for your driver's license, and there's that little thing, and either you check donor or not donor, and that's all So what actually happens? Like what is when you're signing that? What does that mean?
When you sign up to be a donor, which I think classes should be taught on this at this point, not at the driver license place where you're just worried about getting your license. You're not trying to make a life decision. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something that I think they kind of, I don't should say make fun of, but just throw it in the back seat like it's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Which it is a big deal because it saves many, many lives. And just for an example, I was not a donor. I just now started recently being a donor probably about 2 years ago before all this happened. And it was just simply because I thought about, what am I going to do with these things when I'm not here? If I'm able to let somebody else use them, why not? You know what I'm saying? If I'm healthy enough and I'm living my life like I'm supposed to, more than welcome to have what I have. So being a donor really comes down to your personal preference and how you feel about your afterlife. You know what I'm saying? Some people get cremated and they think that all their organs should be intact. That's fine with me. I have no issues with that. And whatever your belief is in, make sure that if you believe in it, then you stick with it. You know what I'm saying? But being a donor is so crucial to liver, kidney, heart, blood, skin, eyeballs. I mean, it all can go somewhere. It all can help. There is a website called let me make sure I say it correctly. www.organdonor.gov/becoming-donor. And what that does is you can go on there and it'll give you all the information that you need as far as how to sign up to be a donor. They have like questionnaires. They have percentages of how many people it saves and who it doesn't save, and what kidney or what organ can help what certain people. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's a really good, cool website.
Wow.
So it's more than just signing up and saying, okay, when I'm done, take it. You know what I'm saying? I think what we try to do as recipients of donors, for myself, is try to get the word out of what you're doing for someone else, you know what I'm saying, when you're not here, and how important that is to legally, not only for that person, but for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's what you're doing.
So they're not going to take you while you're alive and go cut out your kidney in the bathtub and put some ice on it. So that's not how it works, folks.
Yes. We're not talking black market here.
Again, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Shut up. Are you looking at my RBF?
What? We love your RBF, Jenny. It's our favorite.
I'm just glad I'm not sitting there with him because I would just be listening intently and be like,
Can I do you really quick?
Of course.
It's like this.
That's I'm interested and I'm listening and I'm trying to be good.
It's more kind of pissy though. It's more
right. Drop that.
kind of like,
You
okay.
You look like Shanae from Martin. Stop doing that. You see her? She's like,
Hi.
hi.
Hi. Night. So listen. Wait. So did you hear we were just talking about say the website one more time.
Oh, yes, I got the website, but yes, we need it again.
www.organdonor.gov/becomingdonor. And that's for anybody that wants to get information on how to be an organ donor or becoming a donor. And also, if you want to be in contact with the Kidney Foundation, the National Kidney Foundation is www.kidney.org.
So two very good websites to get.
Right, because we were talking about beyond like just going and getting your driver's license, you know, and what even a 16-year-old or, you know, a 70-year-old, you know, it doesn't matter. They're going, and that's really the majority of what kind of information's out there is just, do you want to? Right. And a lot of people are like, in that moment, they haven't had any time to think before that, right? And it's just kind of given to them.
You're thinking of a 16, I just had this experience with my son 2 months ago, you know, both of them actually. And he looked at me and when they asked the question, like, what do I say? You know what I mean? So even then, you know, I'm thinking, man, he doesn't really know what that is.
Right. Well, why wouldn't they make it a part of driver's ed?
Right.
Yes.
You know, like make it a part of driver's ed that you learn about, being a donor. I think that like only makes sense.
Well, it would fit in so perfectly because when you start talking about accidents and then go to death, you know, and at 16, 17, you're not thinking of death unless you live in an area that is high crime, or, you know what I'm saying, you're not used to making it to 20, which I know a lot of those areas. So, but other than that, you know, nationally, people getting their driver's license at 14, 15 years old, they're not thinking about death. They're definitely not thinking about giving somebody your kidney, you know, or liver. So, I
just
think,
bring awareness.
I think it would be very helpful to do it in driver's ed, or even if you're going to do it at the driver's license place, have 6, 7, 8 questions that they have to answer. You know what I mean? To jog their, you know, make them think, okay, this is serious, and if, you know, if I'm going to be this type of person, then these are the questions that, you know, need to be asked and answered before I decide to do it. So what I just told my son is, you know, do you believe in having someone having your organs when you're no longer here? You know, and I didn't want to use the word death. I didn't want to spook him and have him thinking about that. It's a simple question, and he's like, you know, yeah, I mean, what am I going to do? And that's the answer that everyone should, you know, if you're not going to do anything with them, no, go ahead and give them away.
If you say no the first time or the second time, I mean, think about that. You're giving your, like, anymore, you can just renew your license online or every 5 years or so, you know. If you say no the first time, the chances are you're probably always going to say no, unless you're either educated by somebody or have something happen in your life that changes that. You're just like, oh, well, last time I said no, so this time I'm going to say no. So education is so huge. And I know one of the most touching things I ever saw was a woman going to somebody that had received a donor heart from her daughter, and going and hearing her daughter's heartbeat again. You know, I mean, talk about the goose, you know, spirit bumps and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly when I changed mine. Was 2 years ago when my brother passed, and he was a donor, and for him not to be able to give his organs away because of how bad of a situation he was in really hit me. Like, it really hurt me because I know how important it was to him to do that. So that's when I decided that, man, maybe I need to be doing that as well. So
and then you turned around and almost immediately needed a transplant yourself.
It was 5 months later.
I mean, wowzy.
5 months later.
That's crazy. So do you feel like Courtney might have had a little hand in this?
No question.
Right?
No question. It's funny because if you know my brother, he loves, kind of like me, he loves that spotlight. He loves, you know, it was his birthday. It was the 26th was his birthday. And, you know, we're down there hanging out and celebrating him and whatnot. It was a Wednesday night. And I had this balloon. We used to throw something up in the air to relieve, to show his, give him his presence or whatnot. And this year it was just some helium balloons. And we all wrote something on there, and I wrote my little piece on there. And I just told him that he was my angel, and I know he was always looking out for me, and I loved him. Very short and sweet and to the point. And then the next day, that's when I got that phone call.
Spirit bump. Spirit bump.
Oh yeah, all over. Yeah, that's just.
He didn't want me to get the phone call on his birthday because it would ruin his birthday, which has the same birthday as my son.
But that's like divine timing is perfect.
Exactly.
Divine timing is perfect. Like that's not your job. God will do that for you. You don't have to worry about that.
No.
You got to let go and let God and allow the love. I know. So, which brings me, of course, to the. Here's my question. I was like, so do you feel your donor? That's me. I'm like, so you have, and it was a female. She was 30. She was
33. Was female. Died of a brain. Is it aneurysm?
Aneurysm, yeah.
Aneurysm. Thank you. So, it didn't affect any of her organs as far as the death. Her creatine level of her kidney was like 1.6, which you want to be in the 1.3 area, but because of the shock and trauma of the health, it kind of rolls up. But it was a perfect kidney. I've got it now at a 1.3 since I've had it. So I haven't felt her, I should say, like spirit or anything, I guess, simply because I don't know too much about her to even know. And maybe I have experienced it but don't know it yet because I don't know who she is.
Right.
But I have a couple of things that have been different about me since the transplant.
Oh, tell me, what was the one thing?
The Kit Kat.
The Kit Kats. What is this? Check this out.
What? Tell me. Yeah, I don't know this part.
You don't know this part? Yeah, so I am definitely not a chocolate eater or a Kit Kat eater by any means. But I buy probably about 2 or 3 Kit Kats a day, and then not just the king size ones.
What is that? What is that?
Just love them, and I got
really.
Yeah.
She loved Kit Kats. That's what's what.
He might have loved Kit Kats.
So that's definitely going to be a question I ask when I get the chance.
So how does the process work to connect with the family?
So if you go on that website, it'll kind of tell you how that whole kind of process works. After transplant, usually you have to give up to a year before you have face-to-face contact with the donor or their family. 6 months you can do written emails or handwritten letters. And I think it's just because you kind of want to familiarize yourself with them. You want to kind of get to know them, give them some time to kind of, take on that healing process that it takes after someone loses someone.
It's so quick. It has to be like literally right at the same time. You're going through the year-long, not that grief only lasts a year, but those different stages in that first year, the first Christmases, birthdays.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they were saying when we have to request to meet them. Is how do you feel about having to wait that long? And for me, it's like it's worth the wait, by all means. And you have to make sure that you're being empathetic to them of their loss. You know what I'm saying? Because now you have a part of their loved one. And so it's very and my doctor told me that her parents were very subdued or kind of drawn back about her being a donor because now she's going to live on, there's so many different ways you can look at it, but now she's living on through somebody that they don't know, you know what I mean? So, even though it wasn't her parents' decision, they still felt that pain,
right?
You know what I mean? So, I think once they kind of see it and sit back and see that, she did do good, and not only for me, for another gentleman, and then for another person, because they got her liver, so she saved 3 lives.
Oh, wow, see, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she saved 3 lives. So,
that's...
So when you think like it's either going to be probably no gray area. It's either going to be one way or another. They're either going to feel like, oh my gosh, or they're going to be like, oh my gosh, my child's living on, or my husband, or my wife, or my child, whatever the case may be. There's probably not much of a gray area there.
No, it can't be. It can't be, because if it is, then you're not truly in it. You know what I mean? You're not truly feeling what that person meant or represented. You know, you might not agree with what they're doing, but you have to respect that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably that gray area would be right there. It'd be like, how do you, especially if you don't believe in it, you know what I'm saying? How does that one person do it? How can I understand why they're doing it? And I think that's where that whole time frame comes in. It's like, okay, let's get some time. Let's really look at this, you know, in the perspective of her instead of the perspective of ourselves.
Right. That's amazing.
That is amazing. What advice would you give, you know, people going through such a hard time, you know, whether it be physically, emotionally, you know, mentally, they're not able to get up and get out and do the things that they once did. What kind of inspiration do you have in terms of, you know, days that you had like that?
When you go through something like this, honestly, it tests yourself and how you feel about yourself more than anything. You know, I think we all at some point, whether we're just in the shower or we're sitting down at a table and we're by ourselves and our thoughts consume us and our feelings consume us. What kind of person am I? How would I react if this happened to me? And so when it does, you have to make a decision, right? We talked about decisions. You have to make a decision of what kind of person you want to be. And for me,
like dig deep within yourself.
Yeah, because it's not a boo-boo. It's not a scrape on the, you know what I mean? It's not a scrape on the knee. This is something that, you know, I will die of this. You know what I'm saying? So I have to accept that this is something that would take me unless I get hit by a bus. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I can accept it and learn how to live with it and help others. That way it makes me worth living than saying, man, why me and why did this have to happen to me, and get in a closet or a room and just close the door and not anything other than just hatefulness. So with me being young, I think also played a lot of part in it as well. You know, I just had a lot to live for. I have a future, you know, I have children that I want to see grow up. And so for me, the fight was easy. You know what I'm saying? It was something that I was definitely not going to give up on. But for someone that may be on that fence and not sure how they want to handle it, holler at me. I mean, it's one of those things that you need strong back. You need a strong support system. You know, I think it's so cliche when people say, "I'm praying for you." Well, it's not. It's not a cliche. You know, those things work. And
there is the power in prayer.
Is something that my parents so believe in, and I believe in it as well. And when I looked at my Facebook page and I said over 500 something,
it was crazy.
It was crazy. Like, and it literally like made me smile. It made, you know what I mean? It
lifts you up.
It does.
It raises like, your vibration to be like, yes.
You know, and that. So people might not look at that as a prayer, but that is the prayer.
That is the prayer.
That is the prayer.
Yes.
The reaction of others is the prayer.
Yes.
So you have to have a belief. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it by yourself. And if you do it by yourself, you ain't gonna last very long. So,
right.
Can I say something about, like, this really impressed me, and I think that this is about, like, people doing their inner work and how they feel about themselves and an expression and how they view other people. Is you put a post up on Facebook a couple weeks ago, maybe, for Mimi, right, on her birthday, your ex-wife.
Yes.
Okay, did you see this, Olivia?
I don't think so.
Okay, he put a message for his ex-wife.
Yes.
A beautiful message for her birthday.
Oh, yes.
Showing her appreciation, respect. Yes. Hello. Like, if any, like, talk about lifting up. I mean, that speaks to the kind of person that you are and why you have the outlook you do, is that you know, you are living a life that people should aspire to. You know how many people can't even sit at a conference with their ex-spouse for their own children, you know, and who carry that yuckiness and all of that. And not only are you not carrying it behind closed doors, you lifted her up in the public eye. I'm looking at it going, wow. Wow. But it's your character.
You took her out too. Hello.
Huh?
You took her out for her birthday too.
Yeah, we went to.
What's what I'm saying? It's like it's a like an example of how to live. I mean, you just are so inspiring.
Yes.
So inspiring.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, it's one of those things where me and Liv was talking about this on the way up here, is if you don't open yourself totally, you're gonna, first of all, you'll miss blessings, and then you'll be unsatisfied, you'll be unhappy, and you'll wonder why, because you're like, I'm doing everything right. Well, you're not doing everything right. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing everything right, then these paths wouldn't be so rough. And then that goes into faith, and then that goes into your higher power, then that goes into your beliefs, your source. It's you know, and I figured, look, man, yeah, that's my ex-wife, and she's an ex-wife for a reason, but I played a part, she played a part, but together we still have a responsibility.
Yeah.
And she's not a bad person,
Right.
and neither am I.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just one of those situations where we needed to find that peace within us, be on the same page,
Right.
and it's been great.
That's what I'm saying.
It's been great.
And then it's good for everyone.
In yourself. Your peace is within yourself, or you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd be looking at that other person and reacting to them when it's really you. You find that inner peace, you find peace with everyone.
It's true.
Yeah, when you come, and that's just it, you know, and in some of these lectures, or I shouldn't even say lectures, but motivational things that I'll be doing, that's one of the things I would like to express in some of my speeches is a lot of things don't even happen because you haven't been true to yourself, and you haven't looked at yourself and what you need to control. Like being single for the last 2 years has taught me how to discipline myself and look at myself and like, what are you doing wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Well, and find your worthiness in yourself, not attached to somebody else.
Not attached to something else, you know, and then you'll be able to be more open to other people's things and then understand it better because you know who you are.
Right.
You know?
Right. Are you going to take us on the road, Antoine, JJ? Are you going to really, like, go out there and help and, like, speak and, like, and then be like, and then when you get done, buy my barbecue sauce on your way out and go eat dinner and be happy?
Let's eat. Then let's eat.
Yeah, and then let's break some bread and let's find our inner peace.
This is something that, you know, I've always dreamed of doing as far as, you know, touching people and making sure that, you know, that's why I work with the youth so much and for so long, is that they're at an age where you can mold them and you can put them in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? But now, you know, I'd even like to talk to people that are either my age, even or older, because it's still never too late.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never too late to change yourself.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, if it's just doing this Kidney Foundation spokesperson for them now and being able to have that as a stage, then yes, I would definitely be able to go around and talk about those types of things.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That excites me and fills my bucket. I love that. I love that. You need to get a laptop and you need to do videos. You need to get yourself out there. Like, yeah, you'd be like, yeah, this is the ANTOINE channel, and today I'm going to talk about it.
Nice.
I know what I've thought about. I mean, I've thought about
I think you'd be great.
And you have those speakers come in, and just, you know, because you just never know. Like, I see it with me. I see it a lot because I deal with a lot of, you know, single parent home kids, you know, that's in my program, and they just so much want it, you know what I mean? But they don't know how to approach it. They don't know how to ask for it. But you can just see, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got this one kid that we only can go into the gym at a certain time, but he's there almost an hour before. Like, he's there and he's ready. He's waiting, you know what I mean? Like, and he just wants
He's hungry.
Yeah, he just wants it, man.
Yeah.
And his mom's got like 9 kids, and they moved here from Indiana. You know what I mean? So it's not always what you've seen or what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? There's some kids that just really want it, but they're just stuck there and they can't get it. And you know, and I think when you start going into adulthood, then the cycle continues because now they're used to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they teach their kids that.
Right.
You know,
the cycle continues. Yeah. So and every moment is another chance to make a different decision. No matter how old you are, no matter what you've been through, you can always, you know, turn it around.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I'm like super excited about that. Yeah.
Well,
I'm super excited about that.
saying this at the beginning because it's kind of like, you know how you watch all the Batman or Superman movies and they always start at the end and then they go back at the beginning. That's kind of how my life is right now. I feel like I've lived such a part of it, but now I'm a baby again. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a different person. Learn new things, learn how to be humble, and learn how to, you know, self-discipline myself. And now that I have a testimony and something to speak on, it's not in vain. You know what I'm saying? It's not a show. It's not to make money. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's true and to the heart. You know, and if those blessings come with it, it's a plus. To me. So I'm just gonna cook some ribs and make barbecue sauce.
Yeah, Olivia, that's like what you said. Remember, you said, do you ever wonder if your life starts backward? Like, remember when you were talking about that? That's what he just said.
Hello.
What did you say?
Okay, we have not had this conversation yet. We'll have to have it on the car, because I have to take him back to Glendale. But yeah, oftentimes I think, you know what? Are we not living our life backwards to a certain extent? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's like what he said, and then he called at the beginning.
Hello.
I might get my drum out.
That's right, Jenny Cluth. I have said that a couple of times, and it's freaked me out. But now I can talk to Antoine JJ about it. Cause
only when she does it, this is what she does. She'll be like, Jenny Cluth, Jenny, let me ask you something. Jenny, did you ever think that maybe we're living our life backwards? And then I go, what? Because I'm totally not catching what she's throwing down, and I'm like, what? And she's like,
deep stuff.
You gotta watch Juice, man. She'll get you.
I will get you.
And then she'll go, think about it.
It's true.
And then I'll go, maybe. And then she goes, okay, well, I got to go get Stella. Bye. And then she just leaves me hanging.
I will drop some knowledge, and then I'll be like, okay, I got to go.
She drops knowledge, and then she'll be like, okay, and then this is what I just do now. I go, okay, bye-bye. Just bye-bye. Dropping knowledge.
Dropping knowledge. I like to drop knowledge, nuggets of knowledge, and then I take off and let you marinate on it.
And then she leaves me and not hanging up my phone, sitting there going, what did you say? Backwards. Is this like that Brad Pitt movie? What's that Brad Pitt movie?
Benjamin Button?
Benjamin Button.
Yeah, is this some Benjamin Button stuff she's talking about? What? It might have been an old lady in diapers, like that's small but looks old. What? Things that make you go, Okay, love you guys.
Yay, that was a good show. Do you have anything else to add?
Watch out for Live Your Agenda, man. This thing is finna blow up. You guys support it. We're gonna make this thing happen. I'm always feel pleasure of being here and join with these two ladies, my friends. Love you.
We love you.
And I'm sorry you're going back to the Rapid City where it's negative 45-degree wind chill or something.
It's going to be 30 degrees by this weekend, I'll have you know.
Hooray.
It'll feel like 80.
Right?
I'm sure.
No.
So just keep your tough guys wear pink outfit on and come back like that.
Because it's salmon. I think it's more salmon. Salmon. I called it salmon.
Well, you know, Jackson loves pink. My 10-year-old is like all about the pink. So all his shirts say tough guys wear pink.
That's right.
Tell them to rock out.
Salmon. It's salmon.
Salmon. It's salmon.
Okay, and get that, like, get your, like, exercised whatever thing you got going on and go, like, burn it out back and bury it. Go fix that.
We're gonna have to revisit that on episode 11 and be like, what?
I'm afraid it came through my laptop. I'm kind of concerned. I'm gonna start staging.
It's in your mind. All right, peace in the Midwest and the Middle East. Jenny Cluth, Live Your Agenda with Antoine JJ, episode 10. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Bye-bye, folks.